Well, here we are. This is the inevitable result, right? We are in the darkest days in American history, absolutely the darkest days in our life. And nobody can be surprised. He told us he would stay. This has been a campaign of conspiracy and fear since before the last election. It's all based on lies. He has broadcast his intention from the escalator to Charlottesville and then the Proud Boys. Stand back, stand by. Well, they did. Then he whooped them up with Stop the Steal. More baseless claims, backed up by the GOP. They're stealing your rights. They're stealing your country. Don't worry, the states will fix it. No, they won't. Don't worry, the legislatures. No, they won't. The courts. No, they won't. Congress. No, they won't. We better go make them do it. This is the line of reasoning that we've listened to, right? So then he assembled the mob. Come to Washington for a wild time. He assembled the mob and told them to challenge Congress. March down Pennsylvania Avenue. Be strong. You'll never take back your country if you're weak. We're counting on Mike Pence to do the right thing. Then he said, I will be marching with you, implying complete authority as the president to go on, join me, we're going to go down there. Bullshit. He's a coward. He went home and watched it on TV. Take back your rights, take back your country. Who took them away? None of these redneck, trash Republican Trumpsters can tell me a single right that they've lost. Not one. Because they haven't lost any. Been hearing about 10 years about how your guns are going to get taken away. Never happened. He turned that crowd into a frenzied mob. Luckily, they came armed, ready to riot. They're going to march to the Capitol with their hockey sticks and their AK-14s or A-47s or whatever the hell these bullshit weapons are. They also brought sledgehammers, battering rams to a peaceful riot. They wore helmets, bulletproof vests. They carried shields. They arrived radicalized. These are white domestic terrorists, radicalized religious zealots. They were told to attack Congress. They did it on live TV. This isn't a small group. Thousands marched to the Capitol, broke down the barricades, and stormed our most sacred hall. Right? If they were black, they would have been shot before they got all the way up the stairs, and you know it. This is white privilege. This is the most egregious, hideous, obvious example of white privilege, right? These people marched, they smashed into the building, and they wandered right out. No big deal. During the riot, Trump tweeted that his vice president was the coward. So his mob started doing what? Chanting, hang Pence, hang Pence. He sent people to murder the vice president. Then he goes on TV to quell the riot and bring unity to America by saying, we love you people. I love you. You're special, right? Bullshit. That just poured more fuel on the fire. It gave them more justification. How did they get in to the Congress? How did they get into the Capitol building while there was a full session of Congress going on? Because there were deliberately no federal agents backing them up. This is because all the appointments in the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, Homeland Security, all political incompetent morons. This was done on purpose with seditious intent. Pull back the military. Don't let the National Guard go in, right? So what did we see? We saw the gun nuts. We're a well-organized armed militia. We need guns to protect ourselves. Bullshit. The armed militia, the gun nuts that insist they need these high-powered weapons, took those weapons and attacked the government. They are white supremacists. They're proud anti-Semites. They're fascist revolutionaries. These neckbeard commandos came armed. Former and current military officers using the American flag as a weapon. Good Republicans, good Trumpsters, good conservatives break into the Capitol with kidnapping and murder on their mind. They brought zip ties, they brought weapons, they killed a cop. And more disturbingly, there are cops complicit on both sides. There were cops that didn't seem to give them much pushback, and there were cops in the crowd flashing their badges. What? The executive branch allowed and encouraged this attack on Congress to stay in power. That's an overthrow of the government. And it was done so easily. Every foreign terrorist agrees. They're looking around going, woohoo! America today is the weakest it's ever been. We've lost respect all over the world. We're not the leader of the free world today. Democracy has been damaged to a hideous and unknown extent, deliberately, by the President of the United States and his foul mob of rabid seditionists. This is domestic terrorism. What are we going to do? Right? We have the acting heads of defense who have done nothing. We have an administration that's completely broken. We have a government that supports the broken administration. The Republicans are broken. The states now are under threat, right? From armed militias, the ones that needed the guns for self-protection. Turns out they had a different agenda. There must be consequences. I am a gun-owning California liberal. It's time we had some gun control. Enough is enough. This is over the top. That was over the top, right? The response must be over the top. Charges and trials. For the most of these idiots, it'll be bankruptcy on the way to prison. Awesome. Trump signed a law that if you smash up federal property, 10 years in jail. He meant it for the black Democrats, but it's not going to be used against them, is it? Going to be used against white domestic terrorists. Because treason in America, the penalty is clearly laid out. It's clearly laid out. This is sedition, pure and simple. And listening to the Republicans, the 147 members of the House who supported them, who continued to support this overthrow of the vote, the overthrow of the government, to watch them continue down this road and have the absolute gall to call for unity, to mock Democrats, to mock the liberals, fuck them.